There once was a time in the not-so-distant past that Florida was the swing state come election season. I think most of us can remember those hanging chads in 2000. But in the 25 years since Bush v. Gore, and especially in the past decade, the Sunshine State has taken a hard right turn. The New York Times points out, in 2018, registered Democrats outnumbered Republicans by about 250,000 voters. Today, Republicans outnumber Democrats by more than 1.5 million voters. In fact, you have to go all the way back to Lawton Chiles in 1994 to find a Democrat who won a gubernatorial election in the state of Florida. Now, more than 3 decades later, Democrats think that Donald Trump's disastrous second term has opened up the door for a comeback in Florida. Listen to what this 3-time Trump voter from Orlando told MS Now's Alex Tabbitt earlier this week.
I think what Trump's doing now, I'm kind of having a look about face. You know, we started a war over there in Iran we can't possibly finish.
Are you benefiting from this war?
No. Who's benefiting from it? Look at fuel prices. We went to Costco yesterday. It's ridiculous in there. Everything's expensive. Where does it end, right?
That interview took place on Tuesday as Floridians voted in the state's primary elections. Politico reports GOP Congressman Byron Donalds and Democratic former Congressman David Jolly emerged victorious in their respective Florida primaries Tuesday, setting up dueling tests of the power of President Donald Trump's endorsements and the ability of more moderate Democrats to succeed in ruby red states. We'll also have our first poll since the Florida primaries. It was conducted by a firm that works with Democrats, and the poll shows David Jolly holds a 1-point advantage over Byron Donalds, a lead which is well within the margin of error. But if you dig deeper, the poll shows David Jolly with an 11-point lead among independent voters in Florida. And pollsters point out Jolly is receiving 18% of registered Republicans, more than 2 times Donald's 7% among Democrats. Fresh off his primary win, our next guest, David Jolly, just released his first campaign ad as the Democratic nominee for governor.
I'm David Jolly, running for governor. Our politics are broken. We're more divided than ever before. We wake up each day and our leaders tell us to hate each other. And it's wrong. You deserve a governor who's going to put you first. Because we're all worried about the cost of housing, healthcare, food, and gas. Where to send our kids to school. We don't want crime or data centers in our neighborhoods. That's why I'm running for governor. And I'm asking for your vote.
Joining us now is former Congressman David Jolly. He is the Democratic nominee for governor in Florida. David, it is good to see you in different circumstances than we've seen each other before. You just heard that Trump voter in Orlando. He still voted Republican in the primary.
That's right.
But for one of Byron Donalds' challengers, what would you say to convince him and other Florida voters like him to cross party lines and vote for you?
Yeah, Jonathan, importantly, I think voters are telling us they want change. I mean, the reality is in some elections, voters want to stay the course. In some elections, they want change. And even in Florida, we have seen our special election swing by 15 and 20 points. The city of Miami elected a Democratic mayor for the first time in 30 years, and it was 19 points. It wasn't even close. And so the question is, in a change environment, am I capable of leading a coalition bigger than the Democratic Party, but rooted in the values of our party? You cited Lawton Chiles. I've run a Lawton Chiles campaign for the past 18 months. I've gone in red communities, purple and blue, talking about 3 values rooted in the Democratic Party, that the economy should work for everyone. Government can do a little bit to improve our lives, and everyone's rights should be protected and their dignity respected. Rooted in democratic values, but bigger than our party. So that voter who's saying, look, I just need to make sure the economy's working for me. Housing, healthcare, and education. And beyond that, I'd like to think government can just stay out of my life, make some good decisions, respect my personal freedom, regardless of my walk of life. That's the coalition. Jonathan, there's a new coalition in American politics tonight, and it's starting right here in Florida.
You know, David, I read a statistic in that intro from that poll that jumped out at me. Jolly is receiving 18% of registered Republicans. Yeah. That is surprising to me. Is it as surprising to you as it is to me?
You know, it's not, because all voters are looking for change. They want somebody to address housing, healthcare, and education. The cost of your house, if you can afford your insurance, if you can afford your rent. Where can you get healthcare in a state where more people are going without it than ever before? And are there good local public schools? And by the way, are you investing in clean air and clean water? That's not a Democratic, Independent, or Republican principle. But if there is something that's happening here, sure, I was a former Republican. I've been an independent. I actually talk about being a capitalist that believes capitalism creates the most amount of economic growth. I want to let the private sector lead, but there are places where government has to step in. You see, the private sector is never going to make sure that every child gets educated, never make sure that every person has health care, particularly in an uncompensated space. They're not going to fix a homeowner's insurance problem in a natural disaster state. Since World War II, what's created the greatest economic strength and mobility is that government has stepped in and partnered with the private sector or filled in the gaps. And in a state that's known for culture wars, I just use old school libertarian language. Stay out of your doctor's office, stay out of your life, stay out of your business. Let's protect everybody's rights, celebrate your dignity, regardless of the color of your skin, where you were born, who you love, or who you worship. Sure, it accomplishes some progressive goals, but I frame it in old school Republican language that I still believe in. Government closest to the people knows best. Right now, local communities are under attack by state government that's removing all of their authority. Look, Republicans could solve this if they wanted to. They've just drifted so far away that we're going to pull 18% of Republican voters in this race.
And if you do that, you very well might win. Let me get you on one more thing, David. Byron Donalds' record in Congress has essentially been a rubber stamp for the Trump agenda. Is that an effective message to enough Florida voters to help you win this campaign?
You know, I'm running for governor. I don't have to litigate the president and ask people to litigate their past votes for the president. But I am litigating, in a sense, the president's economy. And Byron Donalds is known for one thing. He's Donald Trump's guy. And importantly, on primary night, he mentioned my name 5 or 6 times, Mandami a few times. He screams socialism and radical and all the stuff that scares himself and scares Republicans alike. But he didn't mention Donald Trump, the one person he's run with for 18 months. So I challenge Byron Donalds every day, and I'll do it right now. Bring Donald Trump to Florida, campaign alongside him, and defend Trump's economy. I'll leave the president alone, but defend the economy right now that Donald Trump is presiding over, and defend your policies that are backing up this president, because it's the economy that's leaving voters like that Republican at the top of the spot who are saying, hey, I don't trust the president or Byron Donalds anymore. Now's the time for change. Jolly's focused on housing, healthcare, and education and wants to keep government out of my life. That's it. Back to the basics. That's our platform.
David Jolly, Democratic nominee for governor of Florida, thank you very much for coming to The Last Word.
Thank you, Jonathan.